y'all about this. My height, short. I don't know that I'll need this, but anyway, I'm excited too. I'm just not that visible. One day I will be, I'm sure. That's probably why I had that word that one time about what does the voice of triumph sound like? You know, I just, not one of those people. I cry. It's just, it's good tears, but I just, but Yahweh takes them all because he knows what's stirring on the outside. I want to talk about sanctification. This is not a new topic. This is an old topic, and it comes in many shapes and forms and sizes and different things. You know, we've talked about, you know, kind of in the song that Leo just did with Vanity, how people want the things of Yahweh without Yahweh. And that if you want the things of Yahweh, he has to be your God. And he has to be your God first. Yes, he is the friend that sticketh closer than a brother, and he's your healer and all of that. But he's not that if he's not your God. So part of our salvation process is sanctification. You know, that I know that you may hear, and it's kind of commonly taught, that I don't have to do nothing. I just have to believe in my heart, confess with my mouth that Yahshua is Lord, and I'm saved. And that's where we get stuck, because we need to understand that's an entering into the door. That's not he that endureth to the end. So there's a part for me to play. James talks about it. He used that bad word, works. We don't like that word. But he said, I will show you my faith by my works. So it's not that I'm working to be saved. It's because of my faith, because I choose to believe in a God who created the heavens and the earth and put all that there is therein, that he has a governmental rule, and that I'm in that government. So as being a part of that government, there are rules and there are rules. There are works that I do. When you stop at the stop sign, you are doing a work of the law. When you speed and you get a ticket, that's because you violated the law. It's that simple. It's that simple. Why we can't make the transition, I don't understand. But we're going to start in Ephesians 5:25 through 27, and I'm just going to focus on a couple of scriptures because we do have the baptism, and so we don't want to be too lengthy, but we want to give Yahweh his due. Starting verse 25, the second part of that verse. Well, it starts off talking about husbands, love your wives, because that was the natural example, but we want to pick up on Yeshua. Messiah also loved the church and gave himself for it. We all know this. We all stand and rejoice. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the fact that Yahshua gave his life for the church, his body, for his people. But there's a purpose. It wasn't just so that you can, do whatever you want, It's that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word. See, we came in by the blood, but now we move on by the word. We came in by the blood, but we move on by the word. That he might, and even that has a purpose. He's going to do that so that he might present it, the church, to himself, a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish. So he just didn't die and shed his blood. I'm not minimizing that. Please do not misunderstand. That is essential. That is the way we get in. But we must move on in him. And we do that through the word. That is where we become sanctified, through the word. That he is in the process of, once we come in, then he begins a work of sanctification and cleansing us. See, we don't necessarily understand everything that happens to us. But if we look at the tabernacle or at the feast of Yahweh, then we begin to see, that the Passover sacrifice, Israel lived in Egypt. They were not necessarily followers of Yahweh. There were probably a few that held on to the stories because they're removed from Yahweh for 400 years. They're not in relationship with Yahweh. They heard about the God of Abraham, Jacob, and Isaac, but they didn't know him. They didn't know him. And they lived in a nation that worshiped other gods. Believe you me, Israel was in idolatry. They were in idolatry. The fact is, so easily they could build a golden calf. They were in idolatry. They didn't know. And Yah still provided a way of escape for them. He rescued them out of the world, out of that Egypt, through the blood of Yahshua, through the blood of that lamb, through that blood. But they still were in their sin. He rescued them. Now he has to sanctify and cleanse them. Now he has, Sister Becky made a statement last Friday, 2 Fridays ago, about, he takes you out the world, now he got to get the world out you. That's what he's talking about. He took you out through the blood of Yahshua. Just as you are. And y'all have heard me say more than once, that's the only just as you are you get. He took you out. Now he's going to sanctify you and cleanse you through his word. Through his word. I want you first to know that Yahshua prayed while he was in his flesh. Sanctify them through thy word. Thy word is truth. That was Yahshua's prayer in John 17. Ephesians 5, he's the way. Yah answered the prayer. Now 2 Peter 2:10, 12 and 13. But chiefly them that walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanliness and despise government. Presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities, but these as natural brute beasts, made to be taken and destroyed, speak evil of the things that they understand not, and shall utterly perish in their own corruption, and shall receive the reward of unrighteousness as they that count it pleasure to riot in the daytime. Spots are they and blemishes, sporting themselves with their own deceivings while they feast with you. Now, I brought up this scripture because in Ephesians, he said that he might present it to himself, a glorious church, not having spot, wrinkle, or any such thing. I want you to know the scripture tells us what the spots and the wrinkles are. They are these folk in sheep's clothing, but they're really ravenous wolves. They walk after the flesh in the lust of uncleanliness and despise government. And that's not the government, that's Yah's government. Presumptuous are they, self-willed. They are not afraid to speak evil of dignities. Now, those in the assembly know me. I'm going to break this down. Presumptuous. What is presumptuous? Audacious. I love when a dictionary gives me another word I got to look up. So presumptuous is audacious. Audacious means contemning, and it is contemning, the restraints of law. Contemning means to express strong disapproval of. So someone who is presumptuous expresses strong disapproval of the restraints of the law. Someone who is presumptuous expresses strong disapproval of the restraints of the law. They don't like it. They stretch it. They try to do everything. This is someone who's presumptuous. It said here, presumptuous are they. David prayed, keep back thy servant also from presumptuous sins. Let them not have dominion over me. Then shall I be upright and shall be innocent from the great transgression. So, it's a natural thing. Parents of children, I guess that's how you got to be a parent, right? You had children. Think about your children, and you have your little rules of the house, the don't touches, you can't have, stay out of this room, don't play with that. And the child just tries to push the limits of that law, of that rule. They push it and see if they can get away with it because they don't like it. It's like our nature. So David recognizes this, so that's his prayer. Keep me back from presumptuous sins. That I try to, resist the restraints of the law. I'm push against it. He's saying, keep me from that. Let them not have dominion over me. Let not that be my course of life. And then I'll be upright. Then I will be upright. When those things that push me to cause me to not want to submit to your law are not having dominion over me, then I'll be upright and I shall be innocent from great transgression. But we also know that David also wrote, thy law I love and have hid in my heart, that I should not sin against thee. So he prays against his nature to push against the law, but he takes the word and he hides it in his heart that he sins not against Yahweh. We are sanctified and cleansed with the washing of water by the word. See, Yah is the same yesterday, today, and forever. His ways haven't changed. He hasn't altered. It's the same. Now let's look at Paul's calling in the book of Acts, chapter 26, verse 18. This is him reporting his calling. He's telling the story of when he was on the road to Damascus and how Yahshua met him and told him, why persecutest thou me? And this is his charge that he said was given to him. He was to go and preach, to open their eyes and to turn them from darkness to light and from the power of Satan unto Yah, that they might receive forgiveness of sins. That's the blood of Yeshua, that they might receive forgiveness of sin and an inheritance among them which are sanctified. See, the inheritance is to those that are sanctified by faith that is in me. So, and this was Yahshua talking to Paul. If you have a red letter Bible, this is in Acts 26, verse 18 is red lettered. Doesn't go too far after John will you see red letters, but this is Yahshua talking to Paul. So he's saying, inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith that is in me. So our faith has to be in Yeshua. And again, faith is works. Faith isn't just, oh yeah, I believe that. But I walk totally contrary to that, like I can tell you all day long I believe I can walk on water, but if I don't walk on water, I might not. I probably don't believe. I probably really believe I'm going to sink and drown. So our actions, our faith is actions. It's a verb. It's a going forward. So he's saying, an inheritance among them which are sanctified by faith. How are they sanctified? They're sanctified by the word, their works of faith. That is in Yahshua. And we're, again, everybody knows, I probably should be able to pick somebody and say, how does that go that we make our profession? But I won't put you on the spot. But I'll say it anyway. We don't do works to be saved, but we do works because we are saved. The works reflect the fact that I am saved. I don't do works to be saved. There's nothing I can do to do that. I can't shed blood. Yahshua had to come. He had to come, and he had to give his life for it, or I won't be able to enter in. So all of this, and I'm really careful about, and young people are probably getting tired of hearing me, but it's not just for the young people, because some old folk have issues too. That there are times it seemed like I'm really bold, because I don't have a problem telling you are not in the kingdom of Yahweh. And by saying that, I can tell you are not saved. And there are lists in the scripture that tell me that. It's not me, it's what the Bible says. There are lists. And so let's look at Paul when he's writing in 1 Corinthians 6, 9 through 11. He starts off with saying, know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh? He's asked a question. Do you know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh? Now, I want you to understand that the kingdom of Yahweh isn't something in the future. I'm already been translated into it. It's once I receive Yahshua and I get baptized, I become a part of the body. I'm translated into his kingdom now. So therefore, I need to know that unrighteousness don't get into the kingdom. You can't get in there any kind of shape, form, or way. So then he goes on to say, for he asks that question first of all, and then he says, be not deceived. Like there's a deception going on. And this is Paul writing hundreds of years ago. There's a deception going on in the church. Not in the world, in the church. The deception going on in the church. It's not a new thing. It's an old thing. It's not a new thing. It's an old thing. Been going on in the church. Be not deceived. Now here's your list. Neither fornicators, and that's all sexual immorality. Not just premarital sex. It's all sexual immorality. Nor idolaters, worshiping other gods. Sister Denise brought a message on that. It's real easy. It has nothing to do with me bowing down to a statue. That's real easy to call idolatry. But what do I put before Yahweh? My spouse, my children, my job, my TV shows, music I listen to? Am I following some idol singer, movie star, sports figure? Whatever I put before Yahweh is an idol. So if that's you, you're not in the kingdom of Yahweh. Nor adulterers, nor effeminate. Okay, I'll give you a definition. Effeminate is feminine. That doesn't mean women aren't in the kingdom. It means men being feminine. That's not homosexual. That's feminine. Yahweh don't like feminine men. Okay? Because the next, nor abusers of themselves with mankind, is a sodomite. So it's feminine or homosexual. Right there. Sorry, I didn't say it. He did. Nor thieves. So if you're a thief, nor covetous, you got your aim on something, you have this goal of finance or a house, and that's your focus. It's like idolatry. It's another term for idolatry, being covetous. Nor a drunkard, nor reviler, nor extortioner shall enter the kingdom of Elohim. So he started by saying, know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. Be not deceived, neither, and he gives a whole list, shall enter the kingdom of Elohim. So it's like he had to say, and I'm sure people say, oh yes, of course, I know unrighteous will not enter the kingdom of Elohim. So then he gives a list and he says, they're not in the kingdom of Elohim, just in case you weren't sure what unrighteous was. There it is. But then he goes on, and such were some of you. Now, I have no problem. Was a fornicator, was a thief, was covetous, was. That's what he's saying. And such were some of you. Were. That's a big word. Were. Past tense. See, but ye are washed. But ye are sanctified. But ye are justified in the name of Yahshua Messiah and by the Spirit of our Elohim. So if you want to be in the kingdom, you have to have been. Like your sin has to be behind you. You can't continue to practice this sin. And it's not just physical. We have to bring every thought into subjection. We have to wrestle that thing. We got to make sure that we're, lots of people may not have control of their physical bodies where they're not physically doing sin, but their mind. This is one of the things that Yahshua taught when he walked. He said, you've heard it said of old. You've heard it said of old because it was natural. It was a law that was given to a natural people. You heard it said of old, thou shalt not commit adultery. Okay, yep, I heard it said of old. He said it right there. Nor adulterers will inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. Yahshua said, if a man looketh at a woman and lust after her in his heart, that's a secret. He never says anything. He never pursues it. It's a secret. He hath committed adultery. So Yah's standard, what some folk want to have put down and say, well, we're not. He brought it up even higher. He brought it up even higher where you got to have your thought life regulated. Your sanctification process isn't just about controlling your physical body. It's that repentance and conversion. It's Yahweh giving me the opportunity through the washing of water by the word, through his word, being able and permitted and having a way to now fix that. Get it fixed, get it right, so I can continue to come into the presence of an awesome God. Yes. This list here is about practicing sin. If you are a fornicator, not that oops, I didn't set up the boundaries right, and I got a little bit the situation was too intimate and something happened. Now I feel horrible about it, and I'm going to fix that. That, you fall in this sin. Yahshua is bigger than that. You're not kicked out, But this is about practicing. We can't continue to be what we were. We have to become the new creature that he's trying to create us to be in the image of his son. Yahshua wasn't a fornicator. He wasn't effeminate. He wasn't a thief or covetous or a drunkard, even though they may have accused him of being a drunkard. He wasn't a drunkard. He didn't stir up trouble. He wasn't a reviler. He wasn't an extortioner. He loved his fellow brethren. And even though there were times where he was hard on the Pharisees, he loved them. He wasn't trying to embarrass them to the crowds when he called them hypocrites. He was trying to help them. You need to get this right because you're being a hypocrite. And Yahweh doesn't like hypocrisy. Yahweh doesn't like hypocrisy. So I want to encourage everyone to step it up, including myself, that we need to draw nigh unto him. And it's not like I have to sit down and make a list. This is the wonderful thing about Yahweh. I don't have to make lists. I don't have to, say, okay, well, I did this. I repented of what I knew and understood. I got baptized, and I got the Holy Spirit. Now I got to do this. Now I got to do that. I don't have to do a list. All I have to do is seek him. And as my relationship with him matures, stuff just happens. Things fall away. A thought will come into my head, and I'll realize, some have heard me tell the story. I was good at excuses. Good excuse maker. But Cousin Beth, would you like to go to the mall with me? Well, she has 2 kids that are uncontrollable, and I just don't like to be around them. And oh, no, I got something to do today, maybe some other day, or, somebody, at the church might need some, I just can't, excuses. And I did it. I know, maybe it's just me. I do excuses. And so one time I did an excuse. Now, I have been doing it all along, and I've been with Yahweh, but he never said nothing to me. So this is how the relationship improved, and him and I had gotten on a better level, so now he's free to speak. And so he said, "You are a liar." I'm like, "I'm not a liar." And he had to tell me, excuses are lies. And then I was like, "Oh, I'm a liar." And now I got to fix that. Not because he is making me. I want to fix it. I do not want to be a liar, because if you jump into the book of Revelation, you know what's not in the kingdom? Liars. They're not in the kingdom. So if I'm a liar, I'm not in. So I got to fix that. I want to fix that. I'm not doing. Here's the thing. Do not walk this walk in vanity. Do not walk this walk, make the sacrifices that you are making, for Yahshua to say to you, "Depart from me, ye worker of iniquity, I never knew you." You don't want this walk to be in vain. You want it to count for something. So you have to get into the Word, find out what Yahweh expects. You should want to line your life up with it because you love him. He saved you. And when you think of the goodness of Yahweh, all that matters is you want to please him. Nothing else matters. Please him, please him. Then it happens. The Bereans were a law unto themselves. They were not Jews. The law wasn't given to them. But they loved Yahweh. And when they heard the word, they yielded to it. And the scriptures, they were a law unto themselves. Because they just followed the Spirit. The Spirit's going to have you do what's right. And so I don't have to have a checklist. I just have to be in love with Yahshua. And want to develop that relationship. And everything else is going to fall in place. The people, my associates, I'm going to want to read the Word. I'm going to want to find out about this God. I'm going to seek after him. I'm going to want to come into the church and dance and shout and let people know he is so good. David looked forward to coming into the congregation so he could stand and boast about his God. Do you not want to stand and boast about the goodness of your God? If you don't want to, you don't know your God, or your God isn't my God. Because my God is all that. All that. Even if I'm in misery, my God is still all that. He is still all that. I'm doing all this and I'm thinking of how great. He's great. He's great in his goodness. Stop looking at the world and how it's falling apart. Look at Yah and what he is preparing to do. The new heaven and the new earth that will be around his glory. The day that we will be able to say, and Yah himself shall be with them. Do you want to be there? If there is your destination, you have to go the way Yahweh said. You have to allow Yahshua to cleanse and sanctify you through his word.